See, I'm just writing the code. You guys just see it just like the way you are about to watch that movie, and then let me know if you understand it. So what did I do here? Tell me. I have declared a structure, and then that structure has two member variables, right? What are the two member variables? The two member variables are a roll number and a pointer, right? So what is that pointer now? The pointer is quite important here. Sorry, pointer. Yeah, so what is this pointer? This pointer will store an address of a struct, right? This is what this line says, isn't it? This line is simple. We just store a roll number inside a struct. But what does this line say? This line says that this member variable will store an address of a structure, and that structure will be of this type only. Right? So it's something like this. See. I will be explaining it to you what is a linked list through this example, actually. See, this is something like this. Make it fast, man. Yeah. So this is something like, so you have a node here, right? You have a struct node here, and then you have one more node here, right? So you have one member variable located here, right? This is the member variable, which happens to be a pointer, right? So this member variable will store an address of this node. So this is node 1 and this is node 2. So this member variable is a pointer, right? And this pointer will store the address of this member variable. Similarly, this structure node. So in this case, what was the name of this one? In the example, this one S1, right? So let's say it S2. Let's call it S2. And then this S2 will also have a pointer inside it, right? So this pointer will be here, and then this pointer will store the address of one. It can store the address, right? It can store the address of one more struct variable. Let's call it S3, right? And then apart from this, what is the other data that you have here? You have a roll number, right? You have a roll number. Let's say you have some roll number. Let's say 12. Here you have 13, and here you have 14, right? Apparently this also has a pointer, but this pointer, let's say, it does not point to anything. So do you understand the structure, guys? The structure has an integer and then a pointer. And what kind of pointer is it? The pointer is of type struct itself. I mean, the struct, this node itself. So that means this pointer can store an address of a struct variable of this type. So that's how that's where I am linking this, right? This points to this node, and this node using its own pointer points to this node here. So what can I do with this, guys? Tell me. If I have this structure, what can I do? The thing that I can do is, if what an address of a struct supposed to be, what kind of question is what's an address of a? Yeah, the address of the first variable, right? Because it starts from a memory, right? The address of the first variable.
Maybe we can just go through the structures.
Sorry?
Maybe we can just go through all the structures from just one of them.
Exactly. That's the correct answer. You can, if you are in this structure, you can go to this structure, and from here you can go to this structure. This particular structure, this particular arrangement, right? This particular arrangement, this is called a linked list. Why is it called a linked list? Is because you are using these links, right, to go from one memory area to another memory area. You are going from here to here, from here to here. So let me just implement this now. See, I have declared these three variables. I have declared these three I have declared these three structure variables, and I have initialized their member variables with the integers 12, 13, and 14. Now what do I have to do? I have to make the pointers link, right? I have to link the pointers. How do I link? I say s1.link, whose address should it be storing? S2. S2.link, whose address should it be storing? S3, right? And S3.link, it doesn't have to store the address of anything, so make it to null.
So
yes.
So shouldn't in the struct node, it should be struct node star link?
Exactly, man. Sorry, there's a typo here. Yeah. Okay, so this is what using these lines here, I have created this structure which I have just shown you in the figure, this figure. These numbers were initialized 12, 13, and 14 using these lines here, these three lines, and these links were established using, and these links, as in these three links, right? This and this, these two links were established by using these three lines. The last object here, right? The S3, it doesn't have to point to anything, right? Because there is nothing after that. So I made it to null. So this is the structure. Let's see if it compiles. Yeah, it compiles good. Yeah. So now, as someone was mentioning, what can we do with this? Let's say we want to print the first roll number. How do you print the first roll number? S1 dot roll, right? See, I get to 12. How do I get to 13? Tell me from here. Can someone respond? How can I get to 13? I can just say s.link. Sorry. What happened here?
Sir, I think
so it should be s1.link, right?
Exactly. You're right. Exactly. Yeah, I went to 13. Right? And then if I want to go to the third node, how do I go? See, I went to 40. So if I want to print the first roll number, how do I do? I just say s1 dot roll number. If I want to print the second roll number, I say s1. Then when I say dot link, what do I get? S1 dot link gives me the address because link is a pointer, right? It gives me the address of the second node. And since now I am accessing a structure to a pointer, I have to use this operator. Then I do a roll. And now if I want to go to the third one, how should I go to the third node? I should say s1.link, which will give me the address of the second node. Now I'm inside the second node. From inside the second node, I have to access the link variable. Since I'm using a pointer to access that node, I have to use arrow link. This part will give me, this part here will give me the address of the third node. And then finally, this arrow roll number will give me the value of the third roll number. If you go one more step, what will you get? You will get a null because there is nothing after that. So this is what a linked list is, right? You have used this structure. In your data structure courses, you will do this in much depth, but I'm just explaining it to you from this structures perspective. That how do you use structures to create a linked list?
Sir?
Yes.
So can we use for loop for this? Is there a way to do that?
That's a very good question. Yeah, I was coming to that. But now, yeah, as you was mentioning, if you want to create, let's say 100 nodes, right? How do you create 100 nodes?
Using a for loop or an array.
No, I mean, as in, let's say you don't have a for loop. How do you have to create this dumb way of just replicating it, right? This is how you create 100 row nodes. But this is very, very bad, right? Yes, because there is no way in which you could you could list out all this in this program. I mean, in this program text. And then if you have to link it, you have to do this manual linking also, right? Then there is that's another nightmare there.
I mean, so we can create an array, then link the second element of the array to the first element, and maybe.
Exactly. So first, what you can do is you can create an array of structs. As simple as that. So create an array of 100 structs, and then what do? You write a for loop, right? And then what do you do? I'm typing real fast. Let's hope it goes out fast. So you say s. What do you say? Si dot.
Roll
Say, let's say you give it a roll number, man. Let's say
I plus 12.
Okay, and then what do you do? Then what do you do? Let's say
I dot link,
is equals to si plus 1 address.
but then we have to use the if condition as well.
Si plus 1.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So, si dot link equals to.
Or we can use.
So we'll have to use I is less than 99, right? But we'll have to initialize.
You have to start linking from the. You have to start linking from the first node, right? If I is greater than 0.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
You get it?
Yes, yes.
And finally, when you are out from here, what do you do? The very last, you say, as in you, by doing this null, what you are saying is you are grounding that link, right? You just don't leave it. You just explicitly say there is nothing that it is pointing to.
Sir, I think it should be si minus 1.
Sir, you should initialize the first node also.
Sorry?
Sir, S0 node also. S0 dot link.
Yeah, that is what it is doing, right?
As in I is equals to 1, right?
If I is equals to 1, then this becomes 0, right? यहाँ पे क्या हो गया? If I equals to 1, it means S0 equals to S1, right? Then S1 equals to S2, then S2 equals to S3.
Okay. So I get it.
There is an if condition here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So this is the way you can. So what is the benefit of this, guys? Tell me. What is the benefit? The benefit is, see, when you declare an array, right? When you declare an array, what happens is you declare a static. You declare it statically, right? And then even though both these things are okay, I mean they're similar, because in an structure array also you could just go you could just visit all the structures, right? By just going to the starting address, and then you can just visit all the structures, right, in the array. In the linked list also we are doing the same thing, right? But the benefit of this is it comes. Do you guys know about dynamic memory allocation? Have you guys heard of this before?
No, sir.
Has sir mentioned this to you?
Sir said that he'll teach us in today's class.
Okay. So this is what dynamic memory allocation means, guys. I'll tell you now. There is I think I cannot cover this now because there's the 15 minutes was wasted there. The network issue. But then see, this is a static allocation of memory. That's what just keep this in mind. Maybe in the next class, when sir will just finish the dynamic memory allocation. So this is a static allocation. What do you mean by static allocation is, no matter what you do in your program, right? 100 variables of type structs will be created, isn't it? Upfront, because you have asked your compiler to give you 100 variables of this type. But maybe you don't need 100 variables. Now you don't have data worth of 100 variables. Let's say to start with, you have only data worth of 2 variables. You don't need the other 98 variables. But then still you end up creating memory for them, because who knows, maybe later you will need them. Won't it be good if you can create memory when you need memory? Not like this static way wherein you just declare a very big memory and then you just access that memory when you need it. It's not like that. Dynamic memory means you create memory when you need it. So that is the concept of dynamic memory allocation. So there is a function to do this. This is called malloc. This function is called malloc. Using malloc, you can create memory dynamically. So let me give you a very basic example of how you use malloc. Okay, I shouldn't have reduced the, okay, it's fine. See, you have a struct, right? You have a struct now. I don't have anything here. I just have a struct node S, clean, right? This particular node. Now let's say I do a roll number. I install a roll number and then I'm happy. The programmer has entered a roll number. You can say printf enter data, right? And then this entire thing is going inside a loop. And this entire thing is going inside a loop. This, let's say this is a continuous for loop, and then every time you are asking for some data, printf, right? You are asking for some printf, enter data, and then you say scanf %d and num. Let's say num is a variable, and then you do this. Okay, this program is clear, right, guys? Quickly, guys, respond because I have to finish you with your batch in another
Yes, sir.
time. Okay. What will happen in this program? Tell me. The same memory location will be updated again and again and again with the new value that you are entering, right? That means the first time you enter 12, fine. The 12 goes into this location, memory location. And then next you enter 13, and then 13 takes its place. 14 takes its place. 15 takes its place. So every time when you are entering some new data, the old data is being erased, right? So there is no way in which you can keep track of how many values you have seen so far, or you cannot link it up. Basically, there is no linking that is happening here, right? Because you are using the same structure again and again to store the new data. So if someone asks you what was the roll number entered by the user in the very first in the very first iteration, can you give him this data? Is it possible for you to give this data through this program?
No, sir.
It's impossible, right? Because every time the data is being overwritten. So the best way around this is, okay, and now let's say what is another way to solve this is you just create an array of, let's say, 10. And every time when you create a new roll number, or when you enter a new roll number, you say I++, right? Sorry, not here. You say S I++, right? This will solve your issue, isn't it? But then still, you don't. This is an infinite loop, right? This loop can run for 1,000 iterations, right? After the 11th iteration, after the 10th iteration, this loop will fail because you don't have enough memory for that, right? You don't have enough structures in the array for that. That's why it will fail, because you don't know when this loop is going to end. Let's say this loop only ends when the programmer types something like if num equals to -1, then you just exit, you just return from the program, or else this keeps on going. So there is no way for you to plan ahead how many iterations this loop will run. So what do you do in that case, guys? Tell me, is there any solution you guys can give me with the whatever you have learned till now to solve this? No is a perfect answer. You can say no also.
So we can just declare another struct in the while loop.
And do what? And then do what?
And then assign the variable in that.
And then assign that, and then you have to link that variable first.
Sorry.
So we can create a new node and double its size and destroy the previous node.
Okay, that's the first part is correct. You can create a new node, right?
New node and then link it to the previous one.
Exactly. You create a new node and link it to a previous one. Create a new node, link it to a previous one, right? So what are you doing then? You are creating memory on the fly, right? As your program is running, you are creating memory. You get what I'm trying to say? As your program is running, as someone is mentioning, you create a new node and link it to the previous one, right? So that means as your program is running, you are creating new memories. This is different from when you had the 100 array struct, where you upfront declared 100 arrays, 100 sized array, and you are accessing individual elements. But now here you are creating new memory every time. You are creating new memory as your program is running. By new memory, I am saying struct num equals to some new memory, right? Sorry, struct what was that? No, equals to x. So this node is created new, and then you link this node with the previous struct, right? You just say not previous struct. Yeah, so you maintain two. It's very simple, guys. You just maintain you just have to maintain what was the previous struct info, right, into a variable, and then you just link it to the new info. So it's something like s, you maintain a counter, and then whatever the previous value of I was, you just say s dot link equals to n and xx, right? Does this line make sense to you guys? Okay, before even incrementing, you could just say si dot link. So what does I give you? I gives you the, sorry, you cannot use an array here. Yes, you cannot use an array, exactly. So let me quickly finish it. I don't have time, I'm rushing. So every time you enter a new data, you say x dot role is equal to put the data entered by the user here, and then you have the beginning struct. Let's say you have a beginning struct here, right? So then at the first iteration, and then you say, okay, you say, okay, see, you have created a link from x to xx, right? But then in the next iteration, you need a handle to this one also. I mean, you have to have a handle to the last struct that you have visited, last struct. So when this iteration comes up again, you just store something like this, s equals to xx. Now your entire thing will be linked up. Do you guys understand this? See, here we are creating a new node with every iteration. Here we are assigning the value in the new node, and here we are linking the previous node, the link of the previous node with the address of the new node. And then we are saying, okay, because we need the s, right? Because if the s is not updated, s will still point to the very first node, right? Every time we have to update s to the last node that was created by us. That's why s is pointed to this node now, the last node that was created. So now again, this same iteration will happen. The new node will created s dot link, which was the last node we created. Again, point to the new node, and then the new node will become the previous node.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, will you share
So
this
the
code?
line struct node xx, shouldn't we write it outside while?
Why? Because every time you have to create a new node, right? Why would you write it outside? Otherwise,
But I mean, we can overwrite the previous xx also, no?
And here you are creating new memory. How can it overwrite it? You are creating new memory here, right? This is like a new memory area you are creating every time.
Okay, sir. Got it.
And this is a very, this is not a complete code. I'm just giving it to you guys on the chat. Just try to complete it. It's the simplest way to write a linked list. You finish this code. Okay, otherwise, I would have explained to you better if I would have time. But then now I don't have time, right?
So in this case also, always xx will map to s and the previous data will be destroyed.
Why will it be destroyed?
So suppose first time it enters, so it is stored in s finally.
Yes.
Then it again enters, it will be stored in xx, and then again it will come to s by overriding the previous value. It will.
What you are not getting is this line here. It gives you a new memory every time.
Okay.
This is not the same memory that you are creating, right? Do you mean to say that if I create int x here and if I create int y here, will both of them get the same memory? No, right?
No.
This is similar to that, right? We are creating a new memory in this line every time. So that new memory gets initialized with the new roll number, and that gets linked with the previous. I just need the link to the previous node because all the other links have already been established. So the previous node hai, I just have to take out the link from that node and link it to my node, which I just created.
Sir, Sir, one thing more. So in the last line, you are copying the structure XX in the like S, right?
I am just moving. I am just moving this point. I am just moving this thing because I need a reference, right, to the last node that I have entered. See,
Okay,
this is
no, sir.
actually, I know
Then
I know
the
what I'm trying to say.
s dot link will get overwrite, no, sir. Like s dot link will be equal to xx dot link.
See, this will be something like this. Let's make it head. Head is better. Okay, so this is what it will. So head is something like, see, you could do something like this. Wait. I don't wanted to use pointer because I don't have the time now. Anyways, I can start 5 minutes late. Okay. See, what is this line? What does this line do? This line makes me point to the first, this point to S, right? Do you agree here? I have switched things, yeah. So this line, I have created a pointer that is pointing to S, that is this struct here. Right? So now at the beginning, what do I do here? I created a new node and then I initialize that new node with my new data, that is 12, let's say, right? And then now head is pointing to S, right? Head is pointing to S. So I said head dot link. Whom should I link it to?
XX.
I should link it to the new data, right? Head dot link is pointing to X. Now head will move to the address of X. Now head will be here. It's something like this, guys. See, previously this was head here. Previously I made head point to this, right? And then when I created XX, this is what head was pointing to, right? So this link is established. The first link is established in the first iteration, head, which was pointing to the first S here. And then I made head.link point to X, the new node created. Now when the one more iteration will happen, I will have created one more XX here, right? So then for this to happen, I need a handle to this, right? I need a pointer over here now because I have to link this to this, right? So that's why I have to move this pointer to this now. I have to make head point to here. So how do I do that? I have to just say head dot. That means I have to move head over here. That means head should point to this now. How do I do that? I just say head equals to end XX, right? And then I can use that link here to link to the new node. And this process will go on continuously. And then in the
It's
third,
12 o'clock.
and then in the fourth iteration, again, I will make head point to this now. And then this node will point to the next node. Okay, let me copy this again. This is the complete code. In fact, it will work. I hope so. Yeah. So is this clear now, guys? This is the linked list. And what did you do in the linked list? We have created memory as we are progressing in the iterations. We did not create anything upfront. Remember, we didn't create an array of 100. Whatever number of iterations this loop will go through, that many number of nodes you would have created and linked together. If you want to visit all the nodes, you just have to go to S, starting S, and then say S link, S link, S link, S link, and you can go to the entire, you can visit the entire list. Okay, it makes sense, right? I know I rushed at the end, but then I don't have, I have to, there's no right time left. So you guys just write this code and then see what is happening for yourself, then you'll understand it properly. Yeah.
Then how do we access, if we want to access any structure randomly, then how?
There is no random access happening here because you have to start from the beginning and the end. Because all that you have now is just beginning address S. From there you have to go to the next. There is no random access in a linked list. That's a very good question.
Okay.
Okay, guys, let's end it.
Sir, it's still a bit confusing.
I know, but I can't help it, man. I don't have time now. It's already 12.
Okay, sir.
Because this concept needed time, and I thought like by 11:15 I would finish, and then.
Sir, you could maybe share the B2 recording too, sir.
Video recording would be there. I mean, I have.
No, sir, B2 class though. D2 section.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sir, can we revisit this briefly in the next class as well?
Yeah. Let's see. Like, yeah. I will tell sir if he asks me to take the class, I will do that. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.